So the ingredients that you'll need for the dough are 1/2 of a cauliflower, which I've already cut up into little florets, 1 egg, 50 grams of grated cheese. I will be using some Emmental cheese. You can choose whatever you like, but I just don't recommend using mozzarella because it's a bit too stringy for this. Some salt and some pepper. So this is the basic recipe for the dough, but I also like to add a little bit more herbs, oregano, basil, and some garlic powder. And now for the toppings. So for the toppings, you can choose whatever you like, but for this recipe I will be using these ingredients. About 2 slices of smoked salmon, which I've cut up into square-like shapes, 1/2 of an avocado, which I thinly sliced, a handful of rocket salad, some pine nuts, red onion, which I've cut up into rings, a couple of tablespoons of mascarpone cheese, and finally some tomato sauce. This one I made myself using passata, and I seasoned it with some salt, pepper, oregano, basil, and some garlic powder. Let's start off by making the dough. Take a bowl and a grater and grate your cauliflower. Once you've finished grating the cauliflower, you'll get something like this. But as you can see, this is quite moist. That word though. Moist. Anyway, it's quite wet, so we'll need to extract that moisture, and we'll be doing that by placing it in the microwave for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once your cauliflower is done, let it cool off a bit. Take a clean kitchen towel and put the cauliflower on there. And now we're just going to fold our towel so that we can wring out a lot of moisture from the cauliflower. I'm just going to take the bowl to catch all the moisture. That's as much moisture as I can get out of it. Look at it. So it's quite an important step if you want your pizza to be less soggy. Take a quite large bowl where you're going to mix the dough in and break your egg in there. Whisk it up a bit. Then add your cheese and fold it in there. And finally add your cauliflower. And then just mix everything up. To finish it off, season it with some garlic powder, some basil, some oregano, pepper, and salt. Final stir. Take a pizza tray and cover it with baking paper and dump the pizza dough on there. And now just spread it around until it's a nice and flat circle. My pizza is done. It's about 1/2 centimeter thin. I wouldn't recommend to go thinner because it may just become a little bit more brittle. I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees Celsius and now I'm going to put it in for about 15 to 20 minutes. But keep in mind every oven is different, so it may take longer with yours or less. Just experiment away. So 20 minutes later and my pizza base is done. As you can see, it's quite sturdy. You can just pick it up and it's a nice pizza dough. But of course, keep in mind, this is not a real pizza dough. It's just cauliflower, egg and cheese. That's it. It's not going to be as crispy as a pizza dough, but it's quite sturdy and as you can see, it's just perfectly fine. To the toppings. Let's start off with some tomato sauce, then some salmon, some onion, a teaspoon of mascarpone cheese here and there, and finally some pine nuts. There you go. I've lowered the temperature to 180 degrees Celsius and now I'm just going to put it in for about 5 to 10 minutes until the ingredients are almost done. 7 minutes later. So the pizza is almost done. It's time to put on the avocado. And now let's put it back in for another 5 minutes. 5 minutes later. There you go, our pizza is done.